What is up, everyone? So yesterday you saw us drop Brian's M54 ZHP engine in his 328i with the little M50 intake conversion. It looks dope, and we're getting close. We're getting close to hear this thing fire for the first time. Now, we already plugged a bunch of stuff in. Not super exciting because a lot of this stuff is plug and play since it is like an OEM engine swap, but there is a couple things that we do have to switch up, and I'll make sure you guys see those. Now, there's not much we have to do until we could just like hear this thing fire for a couple seconds, but the first thing we gotta tackle is something with the fuel system. Check this out. So Brian's chassis has this crazy fuel setup right here where we have this massive fuel filter and this electronically controlled fuel pressure regulator. And then we have a line coming out as a feed and a return coming back to the tank. So the M54 fuel rail only has one line going to it, just the feed. So the way I'm gonna fix this is we're gonna take an M54 fuel filter where it has a feed and return in one end and just a feed on the other end with a built-in fuel pressure regulator. Remove all this junk, bolt this there, and we should be ready to party. So, easy fix. So now we're just left with the feed and return. We'll connect the dots. We'll be good to go. All right, fuel system complete. Not too shabby, huh?
Dude, you knocked that out. Thank you. That's
so
awesome.
We actually have to finish the drivetrain before we can actually start it because I want to get the exhaust on. And well, the drive shaft and stuff have to go in before the exhaust goes on.
How annoying would it to hear it for the first time sounding like Duke when I have that badass exhaust out there.
So do all the shifter stuff in. Everything on here is brand new besides the arms itself. Every bushing, every clip. It's got a Z3 short shifter. That's gonna feel amazing. Next part of the puzzle is this fancy ass Guibo.
It's not a Z3, it's a short shifter.
It isn't?
No, in E46s you use like some 5 series. I think it's like a 550.
I'm sorry to lie to you guys.
Well, that's an E30 thing, that's why you say that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But check out this Guibo. This is, I don't know, I bought it. What was it called?
It's made by Rev Shift.
It's pretty gangster. So it's this build-up piece with all these upgraded bushings because Brian keeps blowing apart Guibos with all those clutch kicks.
Yeah, I had a brand new one in there, and when we took the motor out, it was really, really bad. So I decided definitely can't put a stock one back in.
So on top of this, we also got on this gangster
center support bearing.
Maybe
drive shaft.
Look at this, the PBM part.
Yeah,
it's super cool. Versus the OEM one is
it's right here. Look, if this was also brand new last year, and there's nothing left.
So what I'm trying to say is his drivetrain is gonna feel so freaking tight that he's gonna make sure every single horse puppy goes right to the rear tires.
Yeah, and that's important. Next we're gonna have to deal with this, but for now, everything from here forwards is gonna feel amazing.
All right, well, let's bolt this thing on.
Wait. Okay.
Look at this piece. Try breaking this one, Bri.
I'm gonna.
Don't say that.
I'm gonna try.
Huh. Oh, you're what? So gross.
Brian!
What?
Oh, I hope your mother's not watching this.
Okay. I'll go if I have to.
Jimmy, can you...
Alright, this is stuck.
Ow! Hit me in the neck!
Whatever. Let's get the exhaust on.
Alright.
Dude, look at this thing. So nice. Dude, this whole thing is so tight.
It doesn't sound, it used to go ting ting.
Alright, so the drive shaft and everything is all tight. Everything looks awesome. Now it is time for the final piece until we can start it, and that is the exhaust. And this time, Brian bought himself his very first aftermarket exhaust.
I've bought like used crappy sections before and stuck them together with my welder. From tip to tail, it'll be fresh.
He just wrapped the front section of it to keep some heat out of the cabin, and it looks pretty dope. Wow, this is a fancy piece you got here, B.
Yeah, I guess so. This end is supposed to make it equal length, which is silly because there's 2 headers up there that are stock, but maybe it does, and then it splits to 3-inch, and it'll be a full 3-inch spec E46 exhaust. All
So
the
who
way
makes
back.
this?
Bimmerworld / Magnaflow. I don't really know.
Well, the rest of the piece is over here, and it's pretty cool. So it's basically straight pipe. No, it's not. There's a resonator and a muffler. Check it. So everything's kind of thrown over. We've had this for a while. So straight resonator and muffler, and oh yeah, and that piece. So we got a lot of metal to throw up in there.
You can either use a straight section or the resonator.
Oh, we're gonna use the resonator.
Yeah, these two are the same.
Oh, okay. So it's okay.
So it's like if you go to a track that has greater sound requirements, you throw the resonator in. If you want to sound super raspy, you probably leave this.
And this is what they use in spec.
Yeah,
right?
pretty sure it's a requirement. Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm excited to hear how that sounds. It should open up pretty good. And it's a little nerve-wracking because BMWs could sound pretty dookie pretty easily. So I'm expecting good things here. So if you guys don't remember, we're using OBD2 E36 headers because 1, they flow pretty decent, and 2, there's no cats built in. I dropped the ball.
And 3, they bolt up to this. This is made to run E36 exhaust manifolds in an E46.
And 2, they're super cheap. Get them in there. There we go. Oh, dude, this thing looks awesome.
The heat wrap.
Your car is going, like, quickly becoming so freaking legit. Hopefully it's not too loud.
Hopefully it's the right amount of loud.
Exactly.
I don't want to pull me over loud.
You want to kind of look at me, but then continue with your day.
You know what sucks though? The electronic pedal isn't wired up yet, so we could start it, but we can't rev it. It's such a tease.
Oh my god.
It gives us something to look forward to.
Get the wires.
You can rig something up right there, Professor.
I want to go home. At least we know it'll sound better than that glorified exhaust leak you had for an exhaust before.
Listen, it never leaked until like 6 months ago.
I'm not giving him an option. We're using the resonator.
It's like a freaking boom cannon. Look at that.
Oh, it's gonna sound good. So we're gonna utilize the factory exhaust bushings because these things actually work extremely well. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to go, but it sure looks legit.
It's gonna go that way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is so mint. Like, really like that.
Wow. That's real fine. Real fine.
Right, your bumper's looking great.
Shut up.
And you got a parts car. All right, so those brackets we just used that looked like they were completely meant for that, definitely weren't. They were definitely meant for the muffler. But could you see how legit it works over there? With the factory rubber mounts and everything? Maybe not that legit, but I think it looks great. Bro, I think that'll last all season. 2 zip ties? Sheesh. Overbuilt. So the exhaust is on, drivetrain is completely hooked up. We got oil in it. Obviously there's no coolant or anything because there's no radiator on it. The whole front end's still off, but the electronics are hooked up. I had to make the trans harness out of an automatic one for this, and I think I did it right. We're gonna find out pretty quickly. So, I did everything correctly. It should run once we plug the ECU in because we didn't do that yet.
Yeah, I'm aware. I know that.
We'll go get it. I don't know where you put it.
Car's 20 feet in the air.
I bet there's no gas in this thing. $10. I don't think I've ever seen this car above quarter tank. Some last second harness modifications. So the wiring on this, we're not entirely sure about. We've just been kind of winging it, and I'm feeling pretty confident about it.
Yeah, it should be fun.
It's confidence, right? Yeah, it's confidence.
A little bit of Googling, a little bit of cutting, a little bit of splicing.
A little bit of finger crossing. Everything's great. We'll see how confident I am in like 10 minutes.
A little trial and a lot of error.
We're pretty good. Most cars start like almost first try around here. So let's see. All right, so the ECU isn't just the stock ECU, all right? So Brian went with the MS45 ECU, which people tend to stay away from. A lot of guys end up going back to the MS43 ECU, which is like the generation ECU before that.
Yeah.
But the MS45 ECU is actually a very, very intelligent computer. People just seem to be scared of it. Luckily, we have Castle Performance, who gave Brian a little bench tune on this thing. So he does a lot of the, of course, the stock ECU tuning, and a lot of this is dyno tested, and then of course similar setups. He's able to bench tune it and make it work for us,
which is perfect because he's done so many BMWs. He's already done this exact same setup, so I know that this tune,
manifolds, everything.
Probably a million times.
exactly. He's just Castle Performance is probably the place to be when it comes to factory BMW ECU tuning. If you can keep like spec cars and endurance cars alive, like I trust them 1,000,000% because those cars take a massive beating.
And plus he was able to get rid of a couple of things we're not using, like the secondary O2s, that stupid air pump thing, I forgot the name of it.
Secondary air injection pump.
And then the EWS, right? Which is like the...
Which you need an EWS to put a different ECU in a different car anyways.
Okay. 1. Oh, we got all 5 plugs. That's a good start. All right, so we pulled the injector so we can crank up a little bit, so build some oil pressure. It's been sitting for a while.
We're ready for you, Bri.
Can you
That's not Brian.
Can you hit the clutch switch with your finger?
No idea.
Sassafras. Sassy.
Somebody smells delicious.
He's a little stressed out.
Somebody does smell delicious.
That's me, huh?
Yeah, my money's on this guy.
I freshened up before I came.
I want a Stevie World tea.
Yeah, can we get one of that?
These were just what's it called, samples. But if you guys think they're good, I'll make them.
Even the crank sounds cool.
Yeah, it does.
Well, you could tell you don't have a dead cylinder, so that's good. All right, we got oil pressure. That thing sounds gnarly when it cranks.
You hear the exhaust? It
That's
sounds like
yeah.
a freaking drum line.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you see that smile? Look at Brian. Brian's
Well,
happy.
hopefully-
I did 3 wires right.
Hell yeah.
Right? The starter works. What is he whispering?
Nothing.
Fingers crossed. Now the big moment. Oh, now we find out if this is the big test right here.
This is it.
Let's give me freaking.
Yeah. Something not right. I need a throttle pedal.
Oh, does it need a throttle pedal?
Might. I don't know.
Give me a minute. Yes.
Remember I said in the 2 videos ago?
Oh, he said he always
said-
says it.
I said-
He always says it. He's
know,
out of
Brian
gas.
said it.
He's out of gas. I really hope
I
that's
said,
it.
save that gas. I'm going to need it, is what I said.
Pressure test. Damn it. No? I don't think we got fuel pressure. Maybe the lines are on backwards. No, I put the fuel lines on backwards. I knew where it was too. I was distracted. All right, give me a second. I gotta do a little switcheroo here.
You'll flip flop,
And get covered in fuel. Gosh darn it. All right, this is what I meant to do the first time. Let's go back down. We got fuel pressure at that time.
It's fuel.
All right, give it a shot. All right, where it's running, but the headers are leaking really dramatically.
Why? Where?
I don't know. I don't know why they're leaking like crazy.
Bad.
Bad. Do you think it's those plates that like were half deleted or something?
Yeah, probably.
So with the E36 manifold conversion, there's like a hole in the manifold for the I think the EGR. I think that's what it is, and it looks like it's not fully sealing the cylinder. We didn't think it would have an issue, but clearly there is an issue because there's a massive leak at the header. But it ran, so that's pretty exciting. So there's one victory, one hurdle.
It's still a step in the right direction.
Still a step in the right direction. All right, so you can't really see it because it's tight down there. It's in the back. But this is the delete plate they sell for it on E36s. It doesn't look like it's going to leak on the engine, so I think that's why Brian held off on it. But we only have one. Luckily, we have some metal, so Brian's cutting this up real quick, making another delete plate, and hopefully it does the trick.
It's pretty close. Hopefully it fits. If anything, this side's a tiny bit fat, but let's see if it fits.
There we go. Are we in the tightening stages here?
Yeah.
Very exciting. So the 2 plates are in, and hopefully it fully seals up the headers and we can actually get a solid idea of what this actually sounds like. Okay. Okay. Doesn't sound like it's leaking.
No?
No. As you can hear, the head is a little bit noisy. The BMW engines, when they say it, the head gets pretty noisy, but
That sounds really good. I heard it when it first started and it was going all funky. You could hear it. It's gonna sound crazy good.
it's the cold start, so obviously it's gonna be a little loud, but
Misfire.
We got a misfire.
we got a little. Oh, I think we're good. Yeah. All right.
Pull that line off.
Yeah, we'll get it to rev up a little bit. Once you rev this thing up, get some oil pressure in the lifters, it'll kind of quiet up the head. But,
That's all header paint that's smoking like crazy, by the way.
All right, go shut this thing off. We got no coolant in it, but it runs, which is a huge deal. That is a huge step. But it runs, which is a huge deal. That is a huge step in the right direction, especially since we definitely guessed a lot of the wiring. So, we still got a lot of work to do. We gotta get the whole front clip on, get the radiator. Actually, not that. It won't be that bad.
No, I mean, we'll take our time, get it right, make sure we don't have any issues later. Honestly, huge shout out though to Castle Performance for hooking me up with a tune on this ECU. I'm really excited for the MS45 and the factory wideband. I think it's going to keep this thing alive for a very, very long time.
Man, this thing's gonna be cool. It's gonna be real cool. So, I gotta figure out that whole pedal thing, but hopefully we can take this thing on its first test drive in the next couple days. I don't see why not. Everything else seems to check out pretty damn good.
I'm excited, and that you touched this injector and that misfire went away, and she's running super smooth. So I'm happy with that.
Honestly, it probably needs to be beat on a little bit, and then it'll probably start to sound a lot nicer.
Even if it doesn't need it, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
But there it goes, guys. Huge victory for today. So nice work, B.
Thanks, sir. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. And Carter, have a good night, guys.
Oh my god.